Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another pre-market stream here on the Boiler Room. Again, we are going to be getting started here pretty shortly. We're going to be waiting for a couple more people to stroll on in. Again, it's Monday morning. That's why I said Hangover Monday. I'm not particularly hungover, but it is the Hangover Monday, right? Now, with that being said, so far today I didn't really see anything outside the norm. Maybe a couple things. But everything today seems so far like we're kicking off on sort of a slow day so far. Slow days doesn't mean they're not going to be good days, but so far this morning haven't seen anything too crazy. So most of what we're going to look at today this morning is going to be just a couple stocks, of course, but we're not looking at any earnings plays really. So we don't have the earnings volatility to kind of favor us on picking what stocks you're going to be looking at. There wasn't really any sort of crazy running penny stocks this morning. Wasn't really any sort of really big crazy gappers that were shortable this morning. So we're not seeing the crazy day. So it kind of comes down to some strategic picking of stocks now, it seems like. Okay. Thor got bought out, Daniel, so can't really do much there. PCG did have a nice jump up to like 12 something, kind of broke some resistance. That had a nice move. That actually isn't a bad one to look at. I actually kind of brushed that one off my shoulder today, but actually kind of glad you said something. That could be turn into a decent move or have decent setups throughout the day. What do you think of KPTI? Looks like it's gapping up. Had some presentations over the weekend. I'll take a look. What you can see on the screen right now is I'm currently short on AMD. I started shorting it this morning. We were breaking down breaking down support. Looked pretty decent. Figured I'd give it a shot. So I'm still in 300 shares short. So I need to just kind of keep an eye on that. Periodically through while we do the stream, so that way I'm not getting like squeezed out and losing unnecessary money. So I'll start off here. I'm short 300 shares on AMD, so I do see AMD potentially having a bearish day. That's why I'm currently short. I'm not the biggest fan of taking shorts or just even taking positions pre-market. That's why I didn't do like 2,000 shares like I would normally trade on AMD. That's why I only did 300 because, again, I'm not a big fan of the pre-market activity and how it trades. And so if I'm going to do pre-market stuff, I'll usually just do lower share size, just looking to make a little bit of money, maybe start off, the day on the right foot, nothing too crazy. But yeah, I see potential for AMD to come down. Will it? We'll see. But we started breaking down this little support level, so we do have this potential of this dropping all the way down to 380, 38.65, or just at least down to some of these low points here that we have. So anyways, short AMD. I'm also going to be watching CGC long bias today. I'm currently long on it already, 100 shares. I got long on Friday, anticipating we gap up and kind of have a move here today. So I got long just 100 shares. Again, if I'm going to swing trade something, trying to catch a gap, right, anticipating I'm going to have a gap play, I'm not trying to rip in a ton of shares because if you are wrong, you're going to get smoked, right? So whenever I'm doing a lot of swing trading or, trying to trade in, kind of get in a nice move or try and catch a gap play like I did here today, I'm usually going to be doing it on smaller share size because I don't want to blow myself out on a trade, it's just it. So CGC, we'll be watching. Again, it's starting to kind of gap up or have a curl. So I would anticipate that CGC is going to be breaking up and over 1950. It already did, but we haven't had the aggressive move over 1950 yet. Questionable that we ever will, but we might. I think we'll get it today. I think we're going to see CGC up and over 1950. And if things go smoothly, then we will see CGC up towards highs of 21 in the near-term future to retest these highs. Okay, so currently long CGC. So far this morning, it's working pretty well. Okay. All right, KPTI. The first one I'll take a look at. 1 second. KPTI. Really, really, really light volume. Not something I would day trade myself. Yeah, I mean, there's really no setup here to be getting long on or really shorting. It's starting to enter into a potential consolidational phase. So for right now, I would say you're probably just going to have to leave it alone. Your first kind of go-to, thing is to see if the price gets back up over this trend line and then starts to hold over that trend line. So what's that mean? Again, price goes through the trend line, pulls back and starts to hold over the trend line like that. That's what you want to see to get yourself back into some sort of bullish forming momentum. Other than that, I probably wouldn't be focusing on it myself. All right, Thor, Daniel, again, Thor is a buyout, so that's not going to be moving at all today, so you're probably not going to want to watch that. Fran is not Franny, but Fran. Fran, it's actually not bad. It's not the greatest setup that I like myself, but it's not bad. Actually, it is a pretty decent setup. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's pretty straightforward. So in a situation like this, Fran, I mean, the only way I'd trade it or really, really want to trade it where I could expect that we're going to see a really, really big move or a bigger move than we would typically see is over the 21 mark. So really just got to wait till this price gets back up over 21. Do note that you are coming into resistance right at 1960. So this could be a head and shoulders pattern. It's most likely not because we are uptrending on this higher low here. In a normal head and shoulders pattern, again, we would go up, and we come down, and then we go up, and then we come all the way down to the previous low bounce, and then we go up, then we'd hit the resistance, and then we'd come down like that. But because the right shoulder, right dip is a higher low, it's more bullish, and you'd have to expect that it's naturally going to break that previous resistance top and head back north towards the all-time or the previous 52-week high there. Okay, so I would say bullish on this for the time being. I wouldn't necessarily be trading it. I'd be watching it, anticipating in the future to potentially get long would have to be over like the 2160 mark or something. Okay. All right, move forward. So we're going to go into a couple more stocks that I like. So Roku for one. Roku I'd watch short today. Let me double check AMD really fast. AMD, I am up now. Good stuff. You rolling over. All right, cool. Roku. Roku is something I'd be short on. I almost got short pre-market, but then I was like, I'm already short AMD. I already got a position on CDC. Let's just not do that. Let's just let it do what it wants to do and trade it intraday if we like it. So not AMD, but Roku, I would follow short bias today. Again, we had the big move up. Had a monster bounce. Then, it wasn't really the bounce, but, anyways, then we kind of trail up again, fail, crack, down, boom, get smoked, bounces, does not fill the gap here, shies away from the gap, holds resistance on these candles that gap down, bounce. There's actually like a little bit of an off-centered head and shoulders pattern here too, and now we're breaking down. I would expect that this could very well continue in that direction. So I'd first watch it short. If it doesn't pretty much turn into a short instantly today or right away, I would be very skeptical and I'd be considering a short squeeze. So I'm on both sides of the playing field right now. I'm watching for a short because of how fluent the move was, right? We had the move up, we topped, we came down, we came down, we're rolling. So it seems pretty prominent that the move is down right now. But we have seen plenty of situations where I've been faked out, and many people have been faked out on Roku. So going to be first watching short. If the short doesn't work out instantly, then I'd watch long. Okay? That's Roku. Something else we'll be watching today is Fate, F-A-T-E. So F-A-T-E, this is kind of a questionable one. I don't know if this is actually going to play out. This is on a side watch for me. I'm not putting too much attention into it, but I will be watching it. It's had a nice move so far from 14 up to 18. I don't even know what the news is, so if you have the time, you can take a look at the news. It's a therapeutic stock, so I'm just going to go off on a limb that they probably had some type of positive results. They probably met some primary endpoint in one of their studies, or the FDA approved something, or something of that nature. I don't really have to look because at the end of the day, it's a bunch of bullshit anyways. It's just news, and it's only going to work for so long. All right, so Fate, F-A-T-E, is up pretty decently today. This is one of those situations where if I ever find myself on a stock that has it doesn't have a ton of volume and it's kind of light and it's had a big move up, I'll normally watch it short. So anyways, this is something that maybe you guys want to watch. I'm not going to go too much further into Fate, but it's just something I'm keeping on a side watch today, and that's why I wanted to mention it. It's a side watch for me today. Okay. So AMD, CGC, Roku. I mean, those are really the main ones. I mean, I'm always going to be watching Netflix. I'll always peek at Apple. I always peek at Facebook. So for pretty much all the stocks I'll be trading and really focusing on trading, it's going to be Roku, CGC, and AMD so far today. And by the way, let me go back and double check on AMD. Up $24 now. That's good. That's good. Good news. Alrighty, give me a second here. AUPH. AUPH does not have any sort of bullish formation for me. So right now I really want to be buying long on AUPH, but at the same time, you can't short it through Thinkorswim, so it's really just a no-go trade for me at the time being. ONTX. CGC up $100 on that. That's good. That's good stuff. Let me just keep AMD on this little thing over here, like it did. And then what'd you say? ONTX. Yeah, ONTX 50 cents looks like absolute shit. Probably wouldn't want to trade that today. Okay. And that has nothing to do against you, Jesse. Just because ONTX looks like shit doesn't mean that I don't like what you called out. Okay. Nothing against you. What do you think of Steven Duck's too risky of a strategy? No, what Steven Duck's does is not too risky of a strategy. At the end of the day, Steven Duck's, he's a great trader, and I have nothing to knock on him. He is not the most long biased trader. Generally, he's gonna stay on a short biased outlook for penny stocks. It's a great strategy, definitely a great strategy. You have to be able to want to do that strategy, which would include paying expensive money, having an expense to pay for shorts. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it that we don't have the time to do right now, but I don't think a strategy. At the end of the day, anything trading related has risk, yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's too risky now. Blurry screen, Connor. Yeah, that's because of the time frame that we're on for right now. Don't worry, we're gonna be moving that in a bit. What are your thoughts on managing risk when your broker only allows you to trade 5 times margin? Well, let me rephrase that for you. What are your thoughts on managing risk when your broker only allows you to trade at 5 times margin? Well, do understand that the more margin you have, the greater the risk of you blowing up your account. So with the way that you worded your question, it would actually seem that you're actually, well, maybe not better able to manage risk, but that's it. The more leverage you have, the more margin leverage, the higher the risk that you would have of blowing your account because you're using money that you don't have. Lower the margin, the greater the chance of you not blowing your account, so the less risk. So your question is, what if your broker only allows you to trade 5 times margin? Then your broker only allows you to trade 5 times margin. That's it. There is nothing more to it. If your broker allowed you to trade 1,000,000 times margin, you'd probably blow yourself up pretty quickly. So again, the higher the margin, the more the leverage, the more likely you are to blow yourself out. Why did that all jump so weird? Okay. I will take a look at I. I is something that I've paid attention to, quite a bit, but haven't really looked at it too much since I got smoked. I traded a little bit when it got smoked, but yeah, it's threw me for a curveball a couple times. I really hate when stocks get like this. Like let's look at a 1-minute chart. It's just shit. It's just garbage. I hate when stocks get like this because, again, I'm a day trader, so I need momentum to make money the way I like to make money. You don't need momentum to make money. No. And you can make plenty of money trading the stock with the way that it looks. But for the way that I trade and the way that I like to trade and the way that I make money, the way that I like to make money trading, this isn't the stock for me. Not yet. So for now, I'd be on standby, and that's because the volatility just isn't high enough for me. So you really got to start breaking out, breaking down, doing something, changing direction, changing the momentum of the stock in order for me to trade it. the momentum of the stock will have significant change when the price gets back over 745. So until I is even approaching the 745 or getting back to test it, I would be on standby. Rob, it's not really spamming. That's just what the bot sees. I could change over and edit a little bit because you put 1,000 question marks behind it. But that's, I mean, basically go look at go to like Twitch and look at like some really popular video gamer stream, and you're going to see what spamming looks like. I mean, you can't even read the comments because someone says something and they put like 1,000 exclamation marks and 1,000 smileys and then an emoji like this and then a purple emoji going into some other dude's mouth because he just pwned him while playing a video game. And so it can get really odd in those chats, right? You really can't even read anything. It's just like, right? So these little bots that manage these chats, they try to do their best at eliminating spam. So, but I can change the settings on it so it's less aggressive on doing its job, essentially. How come Roku, some stock, get rejected before the gap fill? PJ only, pretty straightforward because people start selling the stock, don't want it to gap fill. That's just really it, buying and selling at the end of the day. Why? I have no idea. Who knows? Someone sold 1 million shares, someone sold 2 million shares. I don't know why a stock doesn't gap fill because it didn't want to. Stocks are radical, emotional, but at the end of the day, it did not, so we just trade the chart. AMD, let me look at AMD. Okay, so it's kind of bounced up a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, it doesn't matter. It has a gap fill. AMD has a gap fill to do on the 1-minute chart, so I would anticipate that the price comes all the way back up to $39.39 in the first place. I'm up 13% in EXPR in a swing trade. Do you think it will continue today? Possibly. Let's take a gander. Let's take a look. Well, stocks don't typically go on 4-day runs without having a pullback normally. I mean, they can, of course, so they can do whatever they want, but yeah, 1 jump, 2 jump, 3 jump, you're starting to hit resistance. Yeah, I would start looking to sell some today and then holding. Yeah, I mean, that's just it. You're up 13%, great. Sell 80%, keep 20% of your position. That's what I would do. Will it continue today? It could, but it is pressing resistance. So again, my job as a trader, my job as a swing trader, my job as, well, maybe not an investor, but a job as a trader, a job as an investor is to not particularly know how long something's going to go 100%, but my job ultimately is to make money, right? And so now that I've made a trade and it's successful and I'm up 13%, and now that I know that it's coming into resistance, my job is not to play the guessing game now between is it going to continue further where I can make more money or is it going to go down at this point? That is part of my job, but my first job is managing the good trade that I have. And if I'm up 13% and the stock's running into resistance, it could keep going, but it doesn't have, room to keep running before it hits resistance. It's already at resistance. So I would do the smart thing, the logical thing, and that would be lock some of that trade in because it's a good trade, and then I would let 20% of my position run. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't really call it doubt. I mean, everybody, well, yeah, you have doubt when you first start trading. Well, actually, no, when you first start trading, you have excitement and confidence because you believe that you're going to be different than the masses and you think that you're smarter than everybody else. And that's just a natural human instinct. Most people want to think that they're smarter. It's just, that is what it is. I mean, there's people that you're smarter than, but to think that you're smarter than everyone, you're just a dumbass if that's the case, right? And I've been there, especially my teenage years. I mean, I think we all at some point in our teenage years think that we're just the God-given shit and that nothing can touch us and that the world just owes us everything and we know everything. But by gosh, is that not the case? And I did find that out harder than easier. Anyways, but yeah, I'd say first coming in, we all have this kind of like feeling of confidence, like we're just going to crush it. And then we get our ass handed to us. And then we realize that this is very hard. But yeah, I mean, really losing a trade doesn't make me doubtful. losing a trade and then breaking my own rules and then losing a trade and losing more money, breaking my own rules and breaking my own. When I'm consistently, like, if you consistently break your own rules and don't listen to yourself, that's when it becomes doubtful, because, losing a trade's one thing, right? You could take a decent setup and lose a trade because Trump tweets something or the market goes this way or something happens, right? That's inevitable, or not inevitable, but that you cannot foresee coming. It was basically impossible, right? But what you can foresee coming is, I'm going to lose a trade and I might lose money. And if I revenge trade and try to jump back into something, I'm most likely going to lose more money. You can foresee that coming. And if you do that, even after you know it can happen and then you do it, it's like, okay, you're really some type of stupid for doing that, right? So a Trump tweet that drops the market, that screws up your trade, nothing you can really do about that, right? Getting into a trade, letting it run 13%, let it hit resistance and then come all the way back down, take no money off the table, then let the trade go red, completely your fault, right? And if you're consistently doing things like that where you have the control, right, and then you give up control to whatever magical universal power that may be out there, then yeah, that's where I would create self-doubt. When you're failing to listen to yourself and do what you know you should be doing, that's where the self-doubt for me had kicked in. And it still happens. Like, you still have these feelings of doubt every once in a while. I haven't felt it in a long time, and that's because I've been green for like almost 3 months straight now, with like very, very small loss days in between, pretty much consistently green. So I've had red days, but I mean, they're so far and few between that it's pretty much that I don't even have red days anymore right now. But again, that could very well change. And again, I'm not boosting myself up. I'm not thinking that I'm just somehow magically 100 times better of a trader than I was 5 weeks ago. So, I am mindful that I've been running really hot, and those can easily come to an end. And actually, going into this week, I anticipated that since I haven't really had any sort of big red day in a while, that I haven't really been seeing any sort of red days consistently, that it could potentially be coming. And what I'm going to do this week is really listen to myself and try my best not to break my rules this week on staying to relatively small size, not really, really small, but not trying to size up a couple thousand shares on really aggressive swinging stocks or just stocks this week. So that way I can keep the money that I've already won. And if I do happen to run into a red day or maybe a couple red days this week or next week, that the losses shouldn't be quite as big because I've reduced the share size and I reduced the amount of potential to losing this week. All right. Yeah, I trade long and short, but I would generally classify myself as a long bias trader. Now, there's things that I like about shorting more than I like about being long. And there's things I like about being long more than I like about being short. But at the end of the day, I would say it really doesn't matter. Find your niche and find whatever you're best at and attack that. But from a simple, logical standpoint, in simple terms, it would appear that it would always make most sense to be long bias. And the reason being, and it does trickle on over into, it really does trickle on over into like everyday human things that you do, like playing tennis or playing golf or playing basketball or working out. I swear, they're all 100% relatable to trading, and I'll explain in a second. So the reason I would say to generally be long bias is because, is the market generally going up or is it generally going down? When you realize that the market, like 80 to 90% of the time, is generally going up, then that means that 80 to 90% of the time stocks are generally going up, which means generally you want to be long bias. All right. So out of the time period where 90%, you know what I'm saying? But on days, not all stocks are going up every single day. Stocks can be going down all the time. So stocks are going up and they're going down all the time. But generally speaking, the market's always going up naturally. So I'd want to naturally be going the direction of the market, which would be up. So it would appear that you find a little bit more frequent and sometimes arguably maybe even better setups to the long side more often than you would find setups to the short side. But there's plenty of times that you can find decent shorts. What I like about being short more than I like about being long is because I'm a momentum trader, day trader. My job is to make money intraday and ideally make it decently fast when I'm trading. So stocks fall like 70% faster than they go up. So in simple terms, naturally, you're going to make your money faster when shorting than you would be by going long if you are correct, and or you would make more money faster by being short than by being long because stocks decrease and or drop 70% faster than they go up. So again, if I took 1,000 share position long on stock A and took 1,000 share positions short on stock B, both stock A and B are both priced at $20. If I go short on one and long on the other, they're both the same price, right? And they're both expected to make a 50-cent move today. It might take me 20 minutes to get the 50 cents on the long, and it only take 5 minutes to get the 50 cents on the short. So I can make money faster in a short. What's my favorite swing stock coming for the days and the weeks? Nothing really on the radar too much right now. Maybe CGC, but nothing that I've really peeked at or been paying attention to specifically. Can you look at ARQL? ARQL. I've already seen that this morning. Didn't really care for it too much. If I could type correctly, that'd be great. I just do the same thing. Oh, yeah, ARQL is a buyout. Nothing's going to happen there. You don't want to pay attention to that. Good stuff. Roku. We already went over Roku. Going to be first short bias on Roku before being long bias on it today. What's up with Twitter? Is it still consolidating? Yes, Twitter's still. I haven't looked at it today, but Twitter's still consolidating. I closed my swing trade on that, as many of you guys already know. But yeah, I closed my swing trade on Twitter. It's still in consolidation. So in the short-term perspective, really the bulls need to get back up and over the 30.31 to arguably 30.46 to really reclaim that bullish feel-good sentiment. You know, if you notice, I mean, you're still kind of uptrending on these days. So in reality, I mean, you're still getting those buyers coming in on the bottom. So just watch it a couple days. You know, as long as the price starts to get back over 30.30, I would start to feel a little bit more comfortable about the long position if I'm already in one, or maybe wanting to re-long. But like in the now, like there's plenty of other things that look better than Twitter right now to trade. So if you're not already in a position, then there's plenty of other things you could find that are better than Twitter right now. All right, it's 9:01. I'm going to try and speed through these last couple questions. If so, yes, more aggressive bots, please. Friggin' Skynet this chat. Great job, Connor. Appreciate it, boss man. Who pissed off the Patriots losing the KC last night? Didn't watch football last night. I was reading last night. Can someone explain why all the stocks halted on Friday? All the stocks did not halt on Friday, but the market is only open from Monday to Friday, and it's closed Saturday and Sunday. So if the stocks weren't trading from Saturday and Sunday, and you noticed the stocks weren't trading from Saturday and Sunday, and you thought that that was the halt, then it was just the fact that the market was closed. But I don't know for sure because I don't know how to read your mind. But that would be my opinion on your question. Never seen that before in my 1 year of trading. I have no idea what you're referring to, so I can say that I have never seen what you're trying to say. I don't know. Okay. Trading is making money out of money. It's a money trade. That is also true, Tom. I would agree. I would recommend selling EXPR when you see a double top on the MACD. If that works well for you, great. I typically do not use the MACD indicator because it's a lagging indicator, and you can get a better exit and or entry by simply following price action than MACD. CCXI, KODX, or PTI today. Those were already put on the watch list from last night, so definitely make sure to tune into that video, which I'm assuming you probably already have because you mentioned that. So, but I'm not particularly following them right now. I am, but not, if that makes sense. All right. Other than that, it's 9:03. Got to get back to the private group at this time. So I appreciate you guys all tuning in for another stream. Just an FYI, the scanners that were up Friday will not be on today. I'm not going to go into exactly why, but they will be coming back online maybe in the next couple days. Yes. That's all you got to know. I'll see you guys back on another stream here tomorrow. Other than that, everybody take care, but do know that scanners will not be on today. They might be on tomorrow, might be on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, at some point this week, just not today. But anyways, I'll keep you posted on that. Everybody take care. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.